Welcome everyone to the very first episode of RotterdaM University. I'm Carmac, this is RotterdaM, and the show is about
StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 2 only.
Yep, basically, so long story short, I'm a newbie StarCraft 2 player. I was a FPS gaming player. Before that I played Quake Live, Unreal Tournament with a fair deal of local success in Poland. But once StarCraft 2 came out, I started playing the game. I loved it, but I found that I was a big newbie at the game, and I decided that I want to improve. And David Kugelman, Sean, our StarCraft 2 referee in the Intel Extreme Masters, has said, hey, why don't you go on a show live and Kevin will coach you. And here we are. We're gonna redefine, or I am gonna redefine epic fail with my gaming, but hopefully from bronze all the way to diamond I will improve and I will work wonders. But it's not just about me, it's for every player out there that wants to learn.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I could have just helped you, you know, because I'm a pretty good friend of you, at least I consider myself as one. But yeah, why not, like, pretty much like keep track on the process, you know, show people how it's pretty much done, and it should be possible actually to show what's going on. Carmac really is a bronze level player. I'm going to show you his old profile soon. For the show he made a new profile, once more classified as bronze though. Congratulations, Carmac.
Well, yesterday I started a new profile just so that you guys have a clear ability to track my progress.
And also see how much you play.
See how much I play and what I do. I'm gonna play only exclusively with that profile from now on, at least as long as I'm taking part in the show. Our good friends at Blizzard gave me a collector's edition StarCraft 2, so yep, I used that key to start a new profile, and boom, I'm in bronze. But yeah, I blew 4 out of 5 placement matches on purpose in order to by no means get into silver or anything, but then I lost a couple of games.
I just saw you play, Carmac. I don't think you lost anything on purpose. Anyway, guys, like pretty much when the show was announced, I saw a few comments saying like, oh wow, like it's hard to get to Diamond League or Master League, like you can just learn them how to 4-gate. The sad thing is that that's probably even correct, because a well-executed 4-gate, for instance, by Protoss is extremely strong and always hard to defend on every level. I still lose to it if better Protoss players use it against me. It can be very hard to stop, but that's not the purpose of the show.
I want to learn to properly play the game.
At least like in a fun way. I'm gonna try to build him, teach him as many strategies as possible, just give a lot of variation to his game style, just almost be able to use every single unit, and obviously not just try to 4-gate or Dark Templar rush every single game, because despite you might be able to get your goal, which is going to Master League, that's not obviously not the purpose of the show.
Definitely. So basically the show structure, usually what's going to happen is that, by the way, this is a pilot, we're still working on some things, this is not going to be perfect, the first episode is not going to be perfect, a couple of times it might hopefully not turn ugly, but yeah, first part of the show it's going to be the lectures, where RotterdaM, with a couple of questions by me, the newbie guy with the newbie perspective, will explain a certain area of StarCraft 2 or a certain skill. And we will have 2 of these mini lectures in each of these of the show's episodes. Plus, from time to time, we will have one of Kevin's friends, one of the pro gamers, to come and explain their favorite build orders and their pros and cons. Yeah. And then after that I'll simply sit down, ladder up, or I will play some drills which RotterdaM will give me as homework, basically to play and try to improve.
It's gonna be lots of homework, but yeah, indeed, we're gonna have like a couple of pro players who are even a lot better than me, to talk them through one of a favorite build order and also mention the strengths and weaknesses. We're gonna show those videos in the show, which should be like pretty much fun for everyone. Will even be fun for watching me. Like for instance, having a top Terran player talk through like a certain build order against Protoss, saying this is why I use it, this is like pretty much all the strengths of it, but every build order probably has a weakness. They're gonna point that out as well. We're gonna show those in the show, which is gonna be cool. What's also going to be pretty cool is, instead of just talking about strategies and talking about how to improve stuff to Carmac, we're gonna make short videos out of tournament games which are already being played, to make it a lot better, to show how you shouldn't do it, which is probably how Carmac is gonna show it to you, and then like get a couple of videos from pro tournaments, for instance, with awesome Blinkstalker micro, with awesome Marauder drops, with awesome drops on similars on various positions on the map. We're gonna point it out. We're gonna make awesome videos, and it should be actually really cool to watch.
And before we go further, I brought you something.
You brought me something?
Every time I really properly fail, that's what you can use on me.
Alright, that's gonna be fun. You're gonna have red cheeks, man.
Well, I'm gonna have to live with that.
Alright, well, I guess pretty much the structure is clear. What we're gonna do every week. For once more, this is an introduction episode where we're pretty much gonna talk you through. This is the absolute basics, but from next week, it's already gonna get a lot more serious. But we are definitely gonna show the world how bad Carmac really is at this game.
I'm awesome at this game, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And as well, of course, this show is like, there are lots of players out there who really enjoy StarCraft, but simply don't have the time, for instance, to play as much as I do. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm some natural talent or something. Probably the opposite is true. Even I need to practice a lot to become good at the game, or just play it a lot. I don't really consider it as practice, as long as it's fun. But I need to play it a lot. But obviously not everyone has the same amount of time or work as I do, because if you look at my profile, which I will show you soon, you can see that I almost have like 1500 or 2000 ladder games. Not everyone has the time, so hopefully with a show like this we will be able to, even the people who have a little bit less time to their proportions, like to actually improve as well, at least at a higher speed than they normally would. Well, Carmac, shall we show your profile first?
Hell yes, why not?
Your old profile.
So let me talk you guys through the story, because I consider myself a player who should be silver at least by now. But what I did was I played Protoss. As soon as I started beating a couple of gold level players from time to time, I switched to Terran, which caused a drop in my points. As soon as I got back to number 2 in Bronze League, I switched to Zerg. And I dropped points again, and I climbed again. So I think the Blizzard's laddering system is actually a little bit confused as to my drops and rises.
The upswings and the
which is why I actually think I'm still a bronze player. But we will see. You will be the judge of that, whether I belong in bronze or maybe higher.
Nevertheless, you did play well over 500 games, and you are still in bronze, so you really are a true bronze player. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna change that. I'll show my profile as well. I'm far from as good as the professionals in Europe right now. They're definitely better, but I do know this game a little bit. As I said, I played quite a bit. I'm third in my Master League division right now, as you can see. I'm at 3,000, almost at 3,500 points, 3450. So I can open my profile as well. Shows I really played a lot, no doubt. I need to play a lot. But yeah, I do know what I'm pretty much talking about as far. Even though for me there is still so much to learn, I almost see it in every cast I do. Whenever I cast like better Protoss players than myself, for instance, Wydran, Naniwa, Manawa, all those top players in Europe, I still realize that there is so much for me to learn as well. But nevertheless, to all your bronze players out there, silver, gold, even platinum and diamond, should be able to give some useful advice.
Yeah, but you do have a day job though, right, Kevin?
I do have a day job, yes.
Yeah, so you have an excuse. You have a valid excuse.
But I'm allowed to play. That's the thing. At least now and then, if I don't have to work, just to make it, just to point that out. So, Carmac, the world has seen your profile.
Yep.
Any shame?
Maybe. Well, I have no shame, so everybody knows that. Maybe let's go on with the show.
Let's do it.
I'm pretty sure people by now are itching to see what we have in store for you guys, and I believe the first lecture is economy.
Well, other than that, Carmac, you probably want to tell the people first, like pretty much what race are you gonna play?
Oh yeah, I'm Protoss.
You are gonna play Protoss?
I'm Protoss. One of my favorite StarCraft 1 players, Brood War players, is Draco and Bisu. So, you know.
Good old Draco.
I'm the Storm Noob. If Tasteless is a Storm Observer, I'm the Storm Newbie.
Alright. Well, that sounds good. Well, I'm Protoss too, as people know. This was not a setup. He could choose his own race. Decided to choose Protoss. That does not mean that this is going to be like a Protoss only show, that we're only going to talk about the Protoss point of view. Over the few weeks we will have other players, for instance Joe Miller, who's also an ESL commentator, also very known in FPS, but less in RTS. He plays Terran, so perhaps we can teach him a few things as well.
Yeah, I mean, if the show is popular, if you guys hate us, we're obviously going to cancel the show. If the show is popular, then we will have more noobs. I will not be the only noob. and I suppose the other noobs will get 1 day in the week of their own. So let's say Monday would be my day, Thursday might be Joe Miller's day, and I would like a chick to be a Zerg, but it's difficult to find one. Anyway, anyway.
All right.
So I think for the first lesson, what would be good is how do people normally start playing? When you play, you spawn on a map, and then basically you have your SCVs. And let's talk about economy, because every time I watch a cast, I hear that StarCraft 2 is an economy game. So what does that mean exactly?
That is true. That is that in general, damage to an economy can be a lot more important in a general game than just killing 1 or 2 units. If a player has a good economy, he is able to sacrifice a few units here and there, which makes StarCraft so different, for instance, than a game like Warcraft, where in Warcraft 3, which most people would probably know me from, if you would lose 1 or 2 units, for instance, grunts or raiders, this is actually something that can really set you back for a long time. Losing 1 grunt before you get the attack up could almost be devastating. Well, in StarCraft 2 it's a lot more important. For instance, if you're able to kill 5 probes, which cost 250 minerals, that can do a lot more damage than to a certain player than killing 1 immortal or let's say 2 stalkers.
Okay, let's start the game then.
Alright, you're gonna show the world how to split, Carmac?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna attempt to show the world a proper probe split, because there is an optimal way to mine in this game, as far as I know. So
there are several ways, but of course we always have to start at the basic. You have to perhaps grab your mouse.
Yeah, I will, don't worry. So
I'm not actually gonna play this game. I'm not gonna play.
So what's normally done, as far as I know, correct me at any point if I'm wrong, you click the command center, that's the first thing you do, then you press S for SCV or E for probe, for instance. Zerg, I don't remember what the hotkey is. You press it, first thing you issue the command to build, then you box all your SCVs, send them to the middle patch, then you box these 3 and send them to this patch, basically. Yeah. That's a split, and then don't forget to waypoint the last SCV. And make sure you spam the S button to make sure that the next SCV comes out instantly. Yeah, and I believe that was a fairly correct split, even though it was done extremely slowly.
Exactly.
But that was for you know, for the purpose of showing the people how it's done.
All right. So perhaps you want to try it one more time without actually talking in before.
Okay. Let me surrender this game, and I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. Let's see if it's still as easy.
All right. So no excuses this time.
No excuses this time. Correct. Create a game. All right. Let's have Kevin in. There we go.
Alright, Carmac, we're gonna try it once more.
And let's see if I manage to do this. So, click your command center, press S for SCV or whatever the hotkey for your worker is.
Focus. Alright, that was not too bad. That was actually a pretty reasonable start. But obviously this is just the very beginning. Having that is already a plus though. It can go wrong here already. It will definitely go wrong for people who don't play RTS that much. So this is a good start, Carmac. But I've seen you play before.
What's important, I think, is which we haven't mentioned, is that you send your first SCVs to the middle patch because they automatically spread to the other ones, so their travel distance is different. And then you also, the 3 SCVs which you grab, which you send to a slightly sideways mineral patch, you send them not to the farthest one away but to one in the middle, so that they can split, because they automatically, the AI of the SCV is such that it can easily switch to a different mineral patch. It's not as stupid as it was in Brood War.
That's true, they made it a lot easier, but nevertheless these are things that you don't really have to worry about actually. On your current level, there are so many other things to worry about. There are so many strategies, there are so many ways to build your base in a proper way at certain matchups that these minor details is not really that important for you yet. It is good that you start with it though. I mean, better now than later, but nevertheless that's not something you should really focus on. There are so many other things to focus on.
So what is the knowledge that we need to know about the economy, mining, and all of that stuff?
Well, you asked me to cut it down for you a little bit because you said before I have no idea when to build expansions. I don't even know like how much minerals I really earn. I just build. There are a few guidelines. Nevertheless, I would say that almost any good player pretty much makes decisions built in game. It's not like I'm 12 minutes into the game right now. It's time to expand. It doesn't really work like that. Like you don't look at a timer. It always depends on every game. But there is like there are like certain ways. In a certain time, your main will be empty. That is actually, it runs for quite a long time. Even if you build workers all the time, which you will see good players do. They never stop building workers unless you're under a lot of pressure early in the game, unless something unorthodox happens. But in a normal game, you will see people keep building workers.
So basically, one thing newbies should know is that a fully saturation means that there's enough workers working on a certain mineral patch.
Exactly.
Full saturation is 3. It's actually per probe or per worker. It's a slower rate than if you have 2. But full saturation is at 3 more or less, and 26 I believe is the peak number, and above that you're wasting your workers if you produce more.
Yeah, on the other hand you can
more
always
or
use
less
them for a new expand. But that's true, it's 3 workers per patch, which is the max. But there is like a certain way. For instance, this is actually pretty funny because in the beta, I already played this game in the beta. I played quite a lot, but I didn't even know so much about the numbers. Then at one moment, we were out with all the guys after the Blizzard Regionals, I believe, where there was a show match between TLO and Madfrog as well. Then we went to dinner with like the Muslim and Nazgul as well, of course the boss sort of from Team Liquid, as you can call him like that. And he and the Muslim had a little discussion, and then they pointed out that the difference between 24 probes and 16 probes is a lot smaller economic-wise than 16 to 8. And then I was like, I don't even know this. And by then I already played the game like 400 or 500 games, and I didn't even know that. So I did a little research about that, which is like if you have like 8 probes, you probably earn around 320, 340 minerals. If you have like 16, it would be like 620, 640. But if you like 24, it would be like roughly 800. That shows that the difference is smaller from 16 to 24 than before. This pretty much makes sense why strategies as 4-gate, for instance, when you cut probes, are still very, very strong, because you still earn quite a lot, and just barely less than your opponent, but you actually save money by not building the probes and keep building your workers. On the other end, of course, that's going to equal out in the long run.
Yeah, by the way, I think what's quite important for people to know, and I think noobs such as myself don't realize it very often, is how you cut probes. How you count probes. Is basically maybe let's demonstrate it again.
Sure, go for it, man. Demonstrate whatever you want, Carmac.
Yeah, I'm gonna demonstrate stuff, so I'm gonna have to invite Kevin again. And there we go, we're gonna start a game. So basically, something I've noticed the pro gamers do a lot.
Let's switch over in game. We can you can start building workers.
Usually if you're a top pro, you're just gonna look at the I'm just gonna send them randomly. Doesn't really matter that much. Usually when you have a pro, he's gonna take a look at the base and he's gonna know more or less ±2 how many are mining and how saturated this is when it's gonna mine out. But if you're a noob like me and you need to count, what you do is box your SCVs, and in this line I believe there's one line is 8 units here. So you just count the number of lines and you have more or less a very good, very rough idea how many it is that are actually mining right now. So I pressed stop. That's how awesome I am. But yeah. So right now we've got 9 SCVs mining because we have a line of 8 plus 1, and I think that's a bit of valuable info for the noobs out there.
Well, that makes sense indeed. Doesn't really matter too much on the low if you don't have too many probes, but indeed it can help a lot by boxing them if you are not sure if you actually have like 18 or 24, which actually makes a difference. That is true. For instance, Carmac, take a look at gas as well. Gas obviously is as important as minerals are. If you mine, let's say for 1 minute, how much gas do you think you get out of your assimilator?
I have no idea.
We'll make a good guess.
Well, with 3, 400.
400? After 1 minute? 1 minute in game?
Yeah.
No, it's like it's maybe like a bit more than 100. All right, that shows that, but that doesn't even matter actually. That's just to give you basic information, which actually can play out in a certain way. If you feel like you're getting attacked and you need a certain unit which needs 100 gas, should I wait for it or not? How much time do I have before I can actually build it? That was a funny answer. I did make like one little graphic, or actually I just played a game against a friend of me earlier today, where it showed where I was the one playing a 4-gate. It was not really a real game, it was pure to show the resource collection rate, where I was 4-gating, I cut workers, and my friend did sort of a normal build with 3 gates, and then went for attack and went for 30 probes on 1 base, which is the maximum, 24, and then 3 and 3 on each gas. I will switch over to my PC, so you can show the screenshot. This graphic pretty much shows it. The orange line is me, and you can see that we're pretty much going even for a long time. And this phase of the game, which is 240 seconds, so that's already quite far into the game. You're going to be able to build quite some units. You have a decent economy. This is the moment where you would cut probes with a certain strategy as 4-gate. Then you can see his line just going up, a lot higher, because he's the one still building probes. The problem with this strat is that my strategy pretty much decides straight away if I win or not. So his probes are not going to work that much for him, and this is why certain strategies are so good. But obviously you can see the clear graphic for him being higher. So if this game would continue in the long run, this is why he would be so far ahead, because he's already earning so much more money than I.
But as a rule of thumb, if you're a noob, just keep making probes. Keep making probes all game, all the way to diamond.
Well, not necessarily. You really have to feel in the game. There is not always a way that you have to keep making probes. If I see that I'm getting 4-gated by a pretty good Protoss player, I can't just keep making probes on a certain moment. I need to get units out. I need to get a gateway as well. I can't just like rely on my probes that I will have enough time to get actually the extra minerals from them and then make the units. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
All right.
So you wanna find out what my problems are?
Well, unless you want to analyze the races a bit more before, but you already said to the world you're going to play Protoss. Any reason why you went for Protoss?
Well, in general, I just liked the general race style, because it's got when it comes to me, I think it's just a race which has got fewer units and very efficient ones. And it's got like, you need to attack with one thrust, and you either kill or you die. So that's what I think. It's all about timing, from what I know about the race. For instance, with Zerg, from my experience, you run around and you just pinch him a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit there. That's what Zerg is. You're aggressive all the time, but you never all in with, well, you're not all in aggressive. You're not trying to kill him with one blow. You're just trying to keep him busy all the time while you expand, and then at the end you can amass such an army which, even if it dies, you can replace it really, really quickly. Whereas with Terran, you need to be extremely patient, because your bread and butter units are rather slow, or the strong ones, the really, really strong ones, are really slow most of the time, which are the siege tanks and the Thors. Mostly the siege tanks, which means that you're basically like a slow turtle, which is very, very dangerous when it actually starts fighting. So you need to be very, very patient, and it's quite static. So if I were to compare, let's say, Zerg to something, I would compare them to a swarm of rats, or a kind of a kung fu fighter trying to, with very quick, very fast blows, but not very heavy ones. Whereas Terran would be an overgrown heavyweight boxer to me. That's how I see the races.
All right. So you figured Protoss fits best to my personality, and let's go with Protoss.
I actually think I'm like I share the grubby philosophy, where I actually don't think a player should have a personality. He should constantly adapt, and like Bruce Lee said it, be like water. So I would rather rate myself the water type of player, but yeah, I enjoy playing all races equally, I think, but I just chose Protoss to make it more easy for you to teach me quickly, because I'm gonna learn a hell of a fast.
Well, let's go for it, man. First episode, I'm not really gonna coach him yet. He said he didn't want to. He just wants to play, relax. I don't wanna. He said he didn't want to get stressed.
We're gonna figure out what my problem is.
But obviously, you guys are gonna be able to see how good Carmac is, or rather, how bad he is. And then obviously, we're gonna point out your mistakes after the game. But you might win as well. You lost your last game, so perhaps it's gonna be 50-50. I'd say let's go for search. And obviously, during the week. I'm gonna give him lots of homework for the next week. Next week we're already going a lot more serious than we are this week. This is much more of an introduction episode where we're just talking, explaining the process of the show. But for next week we're really gonna analyze basic play. We're gonna give you some real duties. Now you're still
and I will be posting updates about how my search for the Diamond League is going on Facebook at facebook.com, and you type in RotterdaM University or twitter.com/Rottiversity. But now I gotta focus because I'm gonna own some noobs. Olive is my opponent.
So I'm not really gonna coach you, but I'm obviously gonna analyze the game a little bit, gonna see what's going on. I know that the game from your point of view looks very different than mine. Your opponent does have a Voider icon, Carmac. Does this scare you a little bit? This means that he won at least 250 games with Protoss. You're probably just another victim. Well, that's not a bad split. Obviously something which I would like to hammer on very fast in this first episode is groupings. I think groupings are extremely important in whatever RTS you play. It makes the game so much easier if you actually have good groupings, and you make the game so much harder for yourself if you don't have good groupings unnecessarily. This is already the first thing I don't understand, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. We're going to work a lot on that next week. Ooh, that's a very fast probe. Fairly interesting, Carmac. Does this trigger any reaction to you when you see such a such a fast probe? Or?
No, I don't know what to think about it. I'm just gonna build my gateway on 12 as I planned it.
Alright. Why did you build your pylon at 8 if you want your gateway at 12?
I actually expected that to be at
9?
At 9, yeah.
Alright.
You guys have to know that at home, when I play at home, I'm actually quite better.
Guys, obviously I'm gonna give Carmac tips off the show as well, but nothing will be nothing worth mentioning will be forgotten. But obviously I gotta help him a little bit off the show as well, otherwise it will be absolutely impossible to get him like in a few hours to Diamond League or Master. As I said, it's not gonna be I could teach him how to forget, but we want to learn him a lot of different things. He wants to actually become a valuable RTS player.
Okay, that's a proxy. That's a proxy. How do I react to that? Damn it. I'm just gonna wall in. Let's see what happens. And he's laughing, guys. It's
should get this thing right now from the table and give you a first smack for walling off.
What the hell?
Maybe you want to build a zealot as well when you're chrono boosting your Nexus? Or
oh, it's the damn German keyboard. Z and Y are trading places on the German keyboard. I blame the German keyboard. Where's that proxy? What the hell? Okay, a couple of people I'm assuming are really. There we go.
I love how you're getting cheesed in your first game there. But this is quite a nice game to analyze already. From my point of view, you're pretty much dead.
Okay.
I would have expected a rage quit at least. I think you can load the replay up straight away so we can analyze this bad boy a little bit.
Oh man, so let me guess what I did wrong. First of all, I knew that I was being cheesed and proxied. I had the knowledge and I didn't do anything about it, or not correctly. I probably should have built a gateway instantly, cancel the gas so I have extra money, and then basically build enough zealots to hold it off. and maybe actually even with the help of pros I would have held it off, and if I destroy the pylon next to his gateways, the game is done.
Yeah, this is actually quite typical for a player like you. When you think about the games and when he's talking about the games, it's actually not that bad. You can see that he watches a lot of streams. For instance, I know that you watched quite a lot of tournaments being broadcasted by really good commentators such as Artosis, such as Day9, and they can analyze things really well, and you have the knowledge. You just don't do anything with it in game. You can start the game. That was definitely one way to. Oh, you want to not watch the replay and just go for it again straight away?
Okay, let's cancel. Let's watch the replay then.
Just really fast, because there was actually really a lot to do. What you mentioned was pretty much right on, but you could have done a lot and like 10 things better. To start off, you're watching from your. Ooh, you got a replay. You got an achievement. That's a bit too fast. First of all, I wonder why do you build your pylon at your ramp when you're playing against a Protoss player?
Just a habit. That's it.
But that's not. That makes no sense. Also, you're building it at 8, which is wrong. At 9 would always be better. Building it at your ramp against Protoss makes no sense at all. You're just losing a little bit of economy by sending it over there and having to send a probe every time over there, since you can only build in your power field. There is no reason for it at all when you play against a Protoss player, so this is wrong. You saw the probe very early on, nevertheless. You can speed it up a little bit. And you've pretty much said straight away, I asked you, like, does this trigger a reaction? And then you said, no. Well, if you see such a fast probe, then indeed most of the time he will either try to cannon rush you or he's gonna try to build gateways. You could have scouted this position now straight away.
Yeah, I should have expected the cheese.
Yep. But that's not even the end of the world. What you did afterwards was even a lot worse. If we take a look at your base right now, not just your gateway, but okay, this made no sense at all. If you're walling off right now, you're basically forcing yourself to bring the zealots in the field, or you're gonna bring them behind. If you're gonna bring them in your own base.
Yeah, I know. Basically, I'm either
here or where you can
putting the zealots in the fight where they're outnumbered, or I'm putting them out of the fight where the pylon gets hurt, and I'm screwed.
When your pylon falls down straight away and you can't build anything anymore. This was really bad too. You chrono boost like 5 seconds before you.
That's because of the Z. I pressed Z and I chrono boosted. That's it.
All right.
I blame the German keyboard.
All right, let's blame the German keyboard. Why did you build like a gateway first, then you cancel it and you go for a cybernetic score?
I decided that I was hoping to get the sentry.
The sentry, no, that's absolutely impossible. If you get rushed like this by zealot only, you will never get the sentry out in time. Basically, getting a second gateway is not a bad answer, even though you're still going to be a little bit outnumbered if he builds them faster than you. If you could use your probes a little bit and micro well and chrono boost well, which is very important in a situation like this, you could perhaps survive. Building 2 gateways against 2 zealots should be better, because your economy is a little bit better since he had to send his probe out faster. But actually that got a bit cancelled out because you did it too. Basically there's so many things to improve, but the main thing would have just been build your base over here, then start with 2 gateways, then just chrono boost your zealots out. Also, one last thing to point out, you group your nexus at 4, which is not where I would group it, but that's not bad, don't get me wrong. But still, every time you want to build a probe or build chrono boost, you go to your main and you select it with your mouse, which also costs a lot of time, which is not worth it at all. Just press 4 then. There's a reason why you group it.
Alright, man.
Alright, let's give it another go, Carmac.
Now I'm gonna devastate the guy.
Let's hope for another matchup as well, so we can show people how many weaknesses you really have. Even though this guy had a lot of games, so perhaps he was not.
Well,
really
no, I normally beat this type of guy. At home, I'm a totally different player, okay? Yeah. And I know my girlfriend's watching, and she's probably yeah, pissing her pants.
Well,
I've got a very malicious girlfriend.
Not sure what I want to do watching these games, but perhaps something with tears in my eyes.
Shut up. Okay, Terran. Okay, let's do this, man.
Terran or Mantelopoulos, that's actually...
I'm slightly favored, okay, so...
So this guy must be like in Mod League.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do the White Ra build.
The White Ra build.
Without actually knowing the build, which is Gateway, and then Robo, then 2 more Gateways.
Alright. Decent split once more.
Yay.
Practice on that bad boy. groups a pylon, you group one of your probes at once straight away, which is a nice thing to do. So if you want to build something, you can just hit one and you don't have to select a probe.
Ah, okay, now I know.
You scout with the first probe straight away at 9, which is not wrong, because I actually do it too. This is wrong. Why do you chrono boost right now? When you have to wait after this probe is done, you can't build any probe because your pylon is not ready yet. So you lose a little bit of your chrono boost time. You might not think it's a big deal.
Ah, okay.
But it could wait. So always wait until your pylon is ready and then start chrono boosting.
Fair enough. So why I'm sending out the probe so early is that I heard on the GSL cast that basically if you send your, you need to, on a 4-player map, you need to send your probe on a,
yeah, finish up the story.
you need to send your probe right after the pylon so that you actually get to see something. Otherwise the player will for sure have the time to wall off.
No, that's not really true. Even if you scout it at 12, you will still be able to get in his base. And even if he walls off, then you will still get information. So I don't think you heard that correctly. There is probably a different reason. Oh, he does sort of wall off the Terran Proto. Not with the barracks. But there is sort of a different reason, which could be that on certain positions you might want to go for a fast expand build. While, for instance, if the Terran's player would have spawned at 6 o'clock and you spawn at your current position, you don't want to go for a fast expand build because you're going to be under too much pressure and it will be too hard to defend. While cross map, this will be a lot easier. Do you have any game plan whatsoever? Anything you aim for? The White Draw build? Is that just it?
Yeah. Oh, I just lost the probe, so that sucks.
So no more White Draw build? Again, you make a sort of wall off, like, or there's like you build near your ramp. Why do you do it?
I don't know, I just feel, it makes me feel warm inside and safe, actually. No other reason, to be completely honest with you.
Well, I just told you that it's not really worth it, unless you play against Zerg, which is a different story, but against Terran and Protoss, it makes no sense. You're just losing money, and it can even work against you, because range units can shoot down your buildings from down the choke, down the ramp.
Okay, so I can expand quickly because I see the bunker and he's got a tendency to he's got a tendency to be defensive as far as I can tell. What the?
For people who wonder how long are the shows going to take, roughly every show should take around 60 minutes, where we're going to talk about a certain strategy first or have a video of a pro player whatsoever. For the first 15 to 20 minutes, just analyzing, just talking through stuff, and then it's basically going to Carmac play, and in the future there will be a lot more live coaching. I will actually go on his nerves a little bit if he's going to do stuff really bad. Perhaps throw in some friendly insults. But yeah, roughly every show should take around 1 hour. Just Carmac play 2-3 games, analyze the games, and before that we're gonna play videos of pro players who are gonna show you a few of their favorite build orders.
Oh, damn German keyboard, seriously.
Just a marine comment. Breathe in.
Yeah, I know.
Why do you build the fourth gateway right now?
Because I'm gonna have the money, and I have the money. I have too much money, so.
Yeah, but you just put an expand up, so you have so much to produce, and you already have 3 gateways which are not on cooldown. So I don't think you have the money to back up 4 gateways and a robotics at all. When you barely
Stop
have
messing
frames.
with my self-esteem.
Alright, man, I'm sorry. Won't happen anymore.
Well, that was a bit excessive.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's not the worst mistake you made. I have a feeling this is gonna take a while. So this might be the final game of today.
No, it's not.
I saw a few of your replays. Why do you do that now?
Because I have a little change of plans.
So you're going for a warp prism drop?
Yeah, I think so. I think the guy deserves it. Whoa!
That's okay. It makes you look brutal.
Actually, no.
Draco would be proud. Did you know Draco personally, Carl?
Yeah, I do know him.
Alright. Nice guy, no?
Yes, he is. Whoa, there's something coming.
If you would just stand at the edge, you could snipe. Yeah.
I know that.
I would build a couple of pylons.
Holy crap, man, you're right.
So, what's exactly the plan right now behind your immortal? Are you gonna immortal drop? Or are you gonna warp in units?
Oh crap.
Ah, that's a pretty nice response right there, dodging the missile turret. Well, the guy has 200 energy on his orbital command, so this seems like a game that should be winnable for you.
Okay, I'm gonna go and expand right now because I don't know what to do with the money.
Warp in units maybe.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
And now you can actually build gateways, because before you didn't really have the money to back it up, but now you do. Since you have a running expand now, you made a few extras. And by the time you warp in units, you will always earn more units. Always earn more minerals to warp in another rotation of gateway units.
Holy crap.
Sure about this drop plan?
No, not anymore, but
Should be a hole somewhere. 2 immortals is pretty expensive, by the way. You might want to be careful with those.
2 immortals to drop.
Yeah, that as well. But you don't want to fly them into missile turrets, that's for sure.
Okay, boom, there we go. Found the hole. Come on. That's the keyboard again, by the way. Guys, if a nice embarrassing moment. That was the keyboard. Whoa.
You observe.
Okay, that's okay.
He didn't even see you yet. It's quite the game, Carmac.
Yes, it is. Oh, crap, I'm supply blocked.
Well,
whoa!
build a few cannons in your base and build a new observer straight away. And warp in stalkers.
Thanks, I know that much.
Oh, well, just saying. Build a few cannons around your base. You have the money, as you like to say. Cannons, Carmac.
Not building cannons. I would imagine that's what a newbie would do.
No, actually not at all. Because it's always nice to have cannons against banshees in case they use cloak. And detection range is pretty big, so you can still send your observer out later on. And he had so many banshees that you will actually have to worry a little bit with your stalkers, because the banshees have very high DPS. So it's not newbie at all to build cannons right now. What's going on at your third expand? Just chilling. Build a few pilots straight away. Oh. You might want to throw down stargates as well. Well, that observer did it too. You have so much money, you might want to throw down 2 stargates and just build a few phoenix, which will help you out a lot. But start mining gas from your expand, which you didn't do for the last 10 minutes. Alright, I think I know I have some homework for you, Carmac. It's time to learn some hotkeys.
Shh, I think you're distracting me.
Alright.
I think it's time to just go and kill him. Whoa.
People just tune in esl-tv and have no idea about what show's going on there. Must be wondering right now. Who took over the stream?
Yeah, what kind of a newbie is this?
It's okay. For all your Warcraft fans out there, when I just started the game, I actually thought that upkeep was just something which happened like on a regular occasion. So when upkeep kicked in, I took away my peons from gold. And then I thought it would go away anytime soon. But it would only go away if you would actually lose units. So we've all been there, Carmac. And I also thought that intelligence heroes microed themselves, which is why they were intelligence heroes. So they would stay in the back and they wouldn't die. So it's okay, man. Wow, this guy really likes to scan. Just made like 3 scans, which he could have seen with 1 scan. Why do you never make Colossi?
Oh, there we go.
High Templars would be very nice as well. And this is actually this one's Phoenix. Can go on a little rampage. Need an observer with your Phoenix. Getting observer speed against so many Banshees would be pretty good too. But the best case would probably be High Templars. When you see how much energy he had on all his units, if you could get feedback off, he would kill his Banshees instantly.
Oh, crap.
When dealing with air units, it will be nice to have Blink as well. You do have the Twilight Console, so there's no reason not to go for Blink. You really need to start mining gas, because you have no gas anymore. Keep running with the observer. Nice, he's out of energy. Keep tracing his Banshees with the Phoenix. And make a lot of probes from all of your nexuses, because you lost really a lot of probes. And despite having so many minerals right now, before you know it, it's empty. Well, before you know, they're gone.
Damn it.
Chrono boost all of your nexuses.
Oops. Okay, now stop talking, please. I'm gonna focus on raping this guy, cause.
Alright, I'll let you focus. Can I sing a song?
Not listening to you. What the hell? Oh my. Seriously, I'm not beating that guy? Oh god.
Start mining gas, Carmac, really.
Oh man.
You have a Phoenix. Still want no coaching?
Please don't tell me anything.
Alright.
I am so embarrassed right now, it's unbelievable.
It's okay. I led it once during the EPS finals, and then I lost 5 games in a row or something. So, you're not the first who's embarrassed in this spot. I was actually sitting there, so no worries, Carmac, no worries.
If he actually comes here with any type of army, I'm dead.
Yep. Well, I'm doing some scouting, eh? Better late than never. I don't think you would beat Joe Miller in your current state, Carmac.
Whoa.
We are one with the shadows.
No, you have blink, you have blink. Carmac. You have blink.
Well, now I have a little gap in my buildings, so...
Protoss Macro Master. When you have 4,000 minerals and no gas, you might want to reconsider that achievement, Blizzard. At least you look cool, Carmac, wiping in so many units.
And again, that stupid thing is not working. Now, what's wrong with what I'm doing with the placement right now?
Oh, those pilots?
Yep.
It's a bit vulnerable, but that's actually that's by far your biggest mistake so far. I don't understand why you're trying to make the same attack like you just did, where you did absolutely 0 damage, and now you just want to walk there again with pretty much the same army composition. What makes you think it's gonna be more successful this time?
So I'm gonna have more immortals, which destroy buildings quite and strong tanks and stuff
Well, then at least.
quite heavily.
But you have to get in range first, and if you walk this same path, then you have to at least go through the middle.
Yes, I do.
Alright. Nevertheless, your stalkers are gonna still be very vulnerable. But it's worth a shot. Do you have an observer with your army?
Yes.
Okay.
Damn German keyboard, seriously.
We'll fix it for next time. So Carmac is going in for his big attack with the 2-0 upgrade. Almost 3-0. The Zealots and Stalkers against the Planetary Fortress and tanks. I'm very curious.
Holy crap, my observer died. That's okay. That's okay.
Fall back to the shadows. It shall be as you say. Fall back to the shadows. On the wings of justice.
You indeed did take out this expand. Since you took the third expand, which was well, the timing normally would have been a bit off, but this game is actually plays out really well. I wonder what happened to his Vikings. He had quite a lot of Vikings. Didn't see them.
Research complete.
Oh, Carmac. You really are a special one.
Thanks a lot. Oh, damn it. 2 observers. That's cool.
3.
3!
But that's far from bad. I've seen Sok in a game with 5 observers where he played excellent on Metalopolis even, so that definitely doesn't have to be a bad thing. Certainly not when you're playing against Cloak Banshees. But if you bring them all 3 with your army, it might be a bit too much.
I'm here in the shadows.
Charge loss should do a lot of damage right now.
What?
Carmac!
Okay, that has to be GG.
Most likely, yes. Unless he's trolling you. And has some battle cruisers saved up.
Oh crap. I lost the observers. Man. That is...
Intriguing. Fall back to the shadows.
Oh wow. Really has a lot of benches. Your Phoenix. Not needed. What upgrade does he have on his benches? Could you take a look at it? Really curious. 0-0. Warp in madness. Right there. Brought to you by Carmac. Live on esl-tv. There can be only one Carmac. Ooh, you're expand. What do you think about that warping?
By the way, guys, for those of you who are not in the room, which is everyone except 3 persons, Joe Miller is sitting here laughing his ass off.
I can figure out a few celebrity show match for you, Carmac. A few possible opponents for in the future. To keep track on your process. Let's hope progress ain't a slow process, because this is looking pretty grim.
Oh, gee, I have no minerals. Run, probes, run.
I don't think your opponent has a lot of minerals either, unless he has.
Well, I know that, but biggest problem you have in Bronze League is to finish the guy off.
37 StarCraft minutes so far. That's
What?
quite the achievement, Carmen. Matt
Yeah,
Prost
considering, no disrespect to my opponent, but considering his level,
I don't think you're a lot above his level at all. Perhaps a little bit, but let's say you both have your strengths and weaknesses. Ah, he floated over his orbital.
now that has to be GG. Give up, man.
Would be pretty cool if he starts whining about Protoss now. That would really make my day. Oh. Victorious.
I have to say, I am so ashamed right now. It's not even funny.
I do want to point a few things out. Despite that game being fairly longer than planned, I do want to point something out. Despite you playing far from a very good game, if you take a look at army value, you were both pretty equal, but I'm pretty sure your resource collection rate was quite above him at any given moment of the time, even though you were both pretty low over here. But in general, you were always earning more money than your opponent was, which is the only reason why you actually won this game. Because strategical wise, you definitely did not play better than him. You lost a lot of units, your first attack was horrible. Quite overall, you made lots and lots of mistakes. But you did do something right, at least in a sort of way that you were earning a lot of minerals, despite saving them up, not spending them well, and blah blah blah. And there you can see how important the economy is in StarCraft 2.
Well, not to give out excuses. Talking to you while playing was not the best idea. But seriously, guys, I am so embarrassed right now. This is so not me, okay? Seriously.
So you actually want to say you would have played better this game if I wouldn't have been chatting?
I'll bring home a replay, okay, for the next show next week. I'll show you how I can play when I'm fully focused. Sitting at home drinking my tea, you know, but this is... I want to win a competitive StarCraft 2 game, so let's just say that I should start getting used to pressure.
You should definitely start getting used to pressure, and I don't think I even gave you any pressure. I think I went very easy on you.
No, but the thing what I should have done instead, I think, when I look at the game and how it went, instead of talking to you, what I should have done, I saw how much resources he was wasting into static defenses, which didn't really help. What I should have done is basically sit in my base, make sure I don't die, and keep expanding all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure every time his stupid banshees come up, they would see a ton of my stalkers. I would never move. I would take the whole map. He would mine out, and I would just go out there and kill him.
Well, the whole
That's what I should have done, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you did take a third base reasonably fast, but you never really built a beastly amount of probes. I mean, you had like 40 perhaps on 3 base, which is obviously not enough. On 3 base, you definitely want to be around 70, 80 probes, if you can, of course. You can't always be that.
Finish the show, man.
But
Seriously.
But that would be a reasonable amount. Well, Carmac, any last words? And how do you feel about your first 2 games on esl-tv?
I think you can go to twitter.com/RotterdaMuniversity or facebook.com and find RotterdaM University and type us, your feedback to how I played and what you enjoy about the show, what you dislike about the show, and
well, I think this game went a little too long, Carmac. It really went a little too long.
I know that,
But that's okay.
and I hate that.
As we already said, this is like a first episode where we just show people how bad you really are. For the next week, we're going to take things serious. We're actually going to introduce strategies into you. I'm going to introduce some build orders. Then I'm going to be talking a lot more than I was today. Just be prepared.
Okay, fair enough. That was the pilot, by the way. Next week we will be more prepared. I will have build orders next week, so you can be sure I'm not going to lose a game, a single map. Next week.
We're gonna have videos next game or snap moments of pro games that have been played, moments that impressed me a lot. I can remember already a few things that really impressed me. I will show them to you and point them out why they were so well executed by these certain players, which should actually be a lot of fun to watch. And I think you will learn a lot of it, because I learned a lot of it, and then I think that you should be able to learn quite a bit of it too.
Seriously, people, just be gentle, okay? I'm normally a little bit better than this. I don't even know what to say. Seriously, because I know how badly I've played. I saw the game, so let's just cut to credit or something.
Alright, so Carmac wants to cut to the credits. This was it for the first show. As I said, from next week on it's going to be very different. We're going to have a strict structure for the show. Now we just want to explain you guys, say hi, introduce ourselves, introduce who we are, what the purpose of this show is going to be.
And write your predictions after seeing what you saw. How many shows it will take me to be in Silver League?
We're going to be back next week. We're going to have one show a week on every Monday, 7 p.m. First I thought I could actually get you to Master League like within 6 weeks, but that would only be possible if I'm actually gonna sleep and move into your house, and I'm gonna force you to play the entire day, which is not gonna happen. So I might have to reconsider this prediction a little bit. You have any predictions, Carmac?
Yes, I'm gonna come back here next week, and I'm gonna rape that out of whoever I play. You're gonna see super nicely refined build orders. Because seriously, if I play this embarrassing next week, we may as well close the show. Because I don't want to be the laughing stock of the entire internet.
You know, Dennis has his show Become a Pro, where he tries to become quite good. Now, obviously, Dennis has a lot of ground skill with his Warcraft past. He was a sort of professional Warcraft player. Now Dennis tries to beat me, which is obviously not gonna happen. But I'm gonna make you try to beat Dennis. I put it on the show out right now. I'm gonna try to make you beat Dennis, but considering he's Master League already and you're still as bronze as it could possibly be, it's gonna be a tough road. But I'm gonna get you there, Carmac.
In 20 shows, I'm gonna beat Dennis.
Let's do it. Carmac is
That's the new plan. 20 shows, Dennis Galen, you're going down, man.
And that is Take, of course, for everyone who's not aware who Dennis Galen is. I'm looking forward to that. In between as well, we're going to have a few other celebrities playing against Carmac to see his process. Celebrities out of StarCraft, but also out of not in StarCraft. For instance, Joe Miller, as we already mentioned, which will actually be a really cool show. I really look forward to that, well, Carmac. I think we had a nice start.
Yeah, well, I wished for something better, but what can I say? I'm a noob.
Well, we'll be back next week, which is going to be on 7 p.m. Well, we're going to see Carmac shine once more, perhaps already with a beautiful silver icon next to his league. You can keep track on him, just search on him Carmac. It's the account with low games. He has 2 accounts, one which is at the top of Bronze League and one he just created right now with roughly 15 games. So we're going to keep track on you on that account, Carmac.
I'll post it on Twitter so you can find it. I'll post it on our Facebook, so go and find us there. And I hope we're going to be back next week. Our friends from Blizzard have promised us some nice goodies that we could possibly give away on the show. I have to say, seriously, this is no joke, not because they give us goodies, but they're such good people.
They really are. Especially Mark. I really love Mark.
Especially Mark.
Mark always is deep in my heart. Alright guys, that was it for us. I'm gonna say hi to the Muslim for everyone who's still wondering about him. He actually got fired from the hospital today, so he's slowly recovering. I'm gonna say hi to him. His dad is in Cologne as well, so I'm gonna spend some time with him. We'll keep you guys posted how it's going with him later this week, but I hope he's gonna recover soon, but that should be no problem. Carmac, I think you did pretty fine, buddy. This was all for the first show. We always go out with a song, so I'm gonna switch the camera, and I hope you guys enjoy a StarCraft love song, which is actually pretty good. I really like it. Any final words, Carmac? Prepared for last week?
Seriously, next week I'm coming here with build orders and with malicious intent. I'm gonna devastate. I promise.
All right, looking forward to it. All right, guys, see you soon. Was really fun. Cheers.